Hello everybody, Helcrex here, and welcome to Thoughts from a Dystopian World and episode 14 of the Federated States of America. Yes, today we're going to be talking about the Corvette for the Federated States, the FSA, the Revere. The Revere is a kind of an interesting little quandary for a ship. It has some uses, a lot of times people don't look at it per se. They'll more or less look and say, all right, I'm going to take Augustas over the Revere. And I can understand that. A lot of times the Revere doesn't find its way into my fleet very often. But it does have a place. The Corvette is 20 points, so it's pretty cheap. It's kind of like a fire and forget lawn dart. I look at it. Crew is reckless, so they're more than happy to go jump across and get into a boarding action. So yeah, that's not a bad deal. It's like they don't defend very well, but they'll be more than willingness to fly across and with their jump packs and cause havoc and destruction. Who doesn't like that? Alright, it is a small naval model. It has a minimum move of 2 inches. That basically means you got to move 2 inches forward before you can make any turns. It uses the small turning template, so it's pretty agile. Turn limit 0 once you get rid of the minimum move. And here's an interesting thing. It comes in squadrons of 2 to 5. So this is kind of where it shines a little bit. For the cost of taking 4 Augustas, you can take 5 Corvettes. And the firepower is more with the Augustas, the frigates, but the Corvettes do have a purpose in the game. Alright, the DR and the CR is 3 and 4, so they are pretty much like almost everybody else's frigates, per se. The CR is a little weak, so they are very crunchy. It doesn't take as much to destroy them. But they do have some good defenses to keep them from getting hit. The movement is 14, so they're very fast. So flying across the board at 14 with some good guns that have a decent fire arc, they can close with the enemy really quick and really take out enemy targets pretty quickly. Now, they do have 2 hull points on the mech, or not the mech. Why am I thinking mech? I got BattleTech in my head here. Wrong game. 2 hull points on the vessel. That typically all you do is roll a 6 and they're gone. But there are times when you can just roll a DR on these guys and take a point damage, and they're still hanging there and being a problem. The assault points are 2, which means that that reckless crew can go over and cause havoc on enemy cruisers and battleships, especially if they don't have their defenses down. And who's to say you can't do it? The ships, these Reveres may not be around very long, so why not throw them in there? The ACAC is 1, so it's just like, yes, we do have guns, not many, but we do have something to throw at least something back and maybe cause some havoc as you're getting bombed to death. Alright. They do have 2 concussion charges, so they're it kind of represents them being fast, being able to get in and out. And if somebody's trying to throw some torpedoes at them or something of that nature, they are able to defend themselves kind of decently. And they have an IR, a RAM rating of 1, so basically if someone hits you or you hit them, say you accidentally get crunched over by a battleship or a cruiser or something because you're doing a blockade run on somebody, and it's possible you could roll a bunch of 6s and cause some damage to somebody. So there you go. It is possible. Now, they do have basically 1 weapon, and that is their 4 volley gun, which has a 270-degree arc. So it is the only thing is screening, they can't shoot directly pretty much anything behind them, but a squadron of 5, these guys can do some good damage. So basically, if you're sitting at range band 2, which, you know, they don't have a 3 or 4, those 4 volley guns, if you have a squadron of these guys, they can throw some good dice at somebody. So basically, if you're sitting at 5 of these guys in a squadron, the first one's 3, and then you have 4 other ones, because they only have 1 gun. That's 12, half that is 6, so they're throwing 9 dice at somebody. That can do some good damage on somebody. Not as good as like you're hitting them with the Augustas, but you know, really their job isn't going after the big guys per se, it's going after the smaller guys. And if you get in somebody into close up, because these are S weapons, they don't have to worry about first range band against surface targets. They have 4, and if you have a squadron of 5, that is 12 dice. That's pretty good. Somebody's going to know you're picking on them with 12 dice. With 12 dice, even dreadnoughts and battleships are going to be thinking twice about getting too close to these guys, and you may do some good damage on somebody. Now, here's the interesting thing is they have 2 different MARs here, elusive target and small target. Basically, that means elusive target and small target. If capital ships attack them, they have a -1, so they're only hit on a 5 or 6. Anything a small class will have a hard time hitting on a 5 or 6, because being that it's an elusive target. Then advanced engines. With that, if you move in a straight line, you get a +3. So they can move 17 inches across the board. So they can close 2 range bands. Their guns are only to the front, so they have no reason to try to turn. And put themselves online with a good 270-degree arc. They can focus fire on one ship and just rip it to pieces. So if somebody is they're sitting at 4th range band, somebody moves up a little bit, they can be firing in the 2nd range band by going straight forward. That is 17 inches. That is what makes these guys kind of nice, because they're so fast. But they have a problem, you know, like I said, they're a 3/4 DRCR, so it doesn't take much to do damage to them or take them out. And for 20 points, you know, I'm willing to spend 100 points on a squadron of 5 of these, especially and throw them on the flank, move up fast. They can move quickly and take out a frigate squadron pretty nicely, or hit a cruiser squadron and take out a cruiser, or hit a battleship and do some good damage to them and make them think twice. Now, I've alluded to this tactic before. The Reveres make a good screen for anybody, especially if you see like a battleship or something out there. Yeah, you can fire over the battleship, but you can move these guys pretty quickly and just put one of them in front, say a cruiser squadron, or even all of them in front of a cruiser squadron. Fire up on them, shoot the ones in the back, and then the one that's in the front will have to do a ram. And then basically, because it's doing that, it forgoes, it can't fire. So you basically just cause massive problems for any type of squadron. So that's one thing I like to do with these guys. Send them out, shoot, and then it's like, well, I expect them to die. So if they do, yeah, they do. If they don't, well, hey, I get to move them the next turn and do something with them. So it's like a win-win in my book. And it's like I've said all the time, when like you're playing chess, do you expect to keep all of your pieces on the board and win? No, you're going to lose some. And these guys to me are just like pawns. They have their purpose. They can take anything out in the game, and they can be taken out pretty easy themselves. But they have a strategic value in the game of being able to screen, hit fast, get across the board really quick. So that is their strength. They have massive weaknesses. So if you're willing to live with those kind of weaknesses, and a lot of times I've had in some games people will overlook them and they look at them and oh, they just have a few guns or one gun on each one. They're really weak. So they might throw a little bit of firepower on them, maybe take one or two of them out, and that leaves you a squadron of, say, 3 left, maybe 4, that can dive in. And let me tell you, when you're moving a minimum of, they got a 14-inch movement. And if they don't go in a straight line, if they do go in a straight line, they're going to be in your backfield by the second turn. So that squadron could be hitting your carrier or something in the back that you want to be protected, and suddenly you're finding that's getting damaged. Or if you're hiding something behind an island or something, let's say your carrier's behind an island, these guys can fly around and get behind there and start doing damage, and maybe use the island or something as a screen. So you got to watch these things. So they can get across the board pretty quickly. But that's pretty much it. That is the Revere in a nutshell. It's not bad, not great, useful. If you used them before to good effect, let me know. Put it down below. Let's talk about this thing. It is what I call a decent little ship. I like it. All right. Like and subscribe, everybody. Share with all your friends. Now, put the information out there. Let people know that this show is going on, especially if you're a Dystopian Wars type of person. All right. I will talk with y'all later. Hellcracks out.